Hello, and welcome. In today's episode, I'm going to share my story of how I reached C2 level listening in English. If you don't know, C2 is the highest level of English proficiency, and it means I can understand almost everything I hear, whether it's a movie, a podcast, or a conversation. It wasn't easy, and it didn't happen overnight. But I'm going to tell you exactly how I did it. By the end of this episode, you'll have some clear steps to follow, so you can improve your listening skills too. When I first started learning English, I was at a beginner level. I could understand a little bit, but not much. People would speak too fast, and I couldn't follow along. At first, I thought, how am I ever going to reach C2? But I didn't give up. And today, I want to tell you how I got there. Start small and build your confidence. The first thing I did was start small. I didn't jump into watching movies or listening to fast podcasts. I knew I had to begin with things that were easier for me to understand. So, I began with children's shows and slow podcasts. The great thing about children's shows is that they use simple vocabulary, and the speech is slower, which helped me catch more words. I also watched shows with subtitles. This way, I could hear the words and read them at the same time. For example, one of the first shows I watched was Peppa Pig. It's an easy show with simple language. I would watch it a few times, and every time I could understand more and more. This was a big boost to my confidence. If you're just starting out, don't worry if you don't understand everything. Just keep watching and listening. It will get easier over time. Listen. Every day, consistency is key. The second thing that helped me improve my listening was consistency. I made sure to listen to English every single day. It didn't matter if I was busy or tired, I made it a habit. Even if I only had 10 or 15 minutes, I would listen to something in English. I listened to podcasts, radio stations, music, or watched YouTube videos in English. The more I listened, the better I got. At first, it was difficult to understand everything. But after listening every day, my brain started to get used to the rhythm and sounds of English. I also found that listening to English every day helped me stay motivated. When I missed a day, I felt like I wasn't progressing as much, so I made sure to listen daily. Practice with different types of content. As I continued listening every day, I realized that it was important to mix up the types of content I listened to. I didn't want to just listen to one thing all the time. So, I started listening to a variety of things. For example, I listened to news podcasts, stories, and even cooking shows. Each type of content has its own style of speaking, and this helped me learn new words and understand different accents. News podcasts are helpful because they speak clearly, and the topics are usually easy to follow. Cooking shows were good because they taught me vocabulary related to food and everyday activities. As I listened to more types of content, I noticed that I could understand more and more. The key is to expose yourself to different types of speech and vocabulary. Don't be afraid to listen again. There were many times when I didn't understand something right away. At first, I felt frustrated, but I realized that it was okay. If I didn't understand something, I would simply listen again. Repetition is one of the most powerful tools for improving your listening skills. When I listened to the same podcast or video again, I would catch words that I missed the first time. Sometimes I would listen to the same sentence 5 or 6 times until I fully understood it. You might feel like you're not improving when you don't understand something, but the more you listen, the more you will understand. Trust me, repetition works. It helps your brain recognize words faster and get used to how they sound in different situations. Start listening to real conversations. At some point, I started to listen to real conversations. This was much harder because people speak quickly, use slang, and don't always speak clearly. But listening to real conversations was a huge step forward. I began listening to interviews, radio shows, and videos where people were having casual conversations. It helped me hear the way native speakers really talk, not just the slow and clear speech that you often hear in lessons. For example, I listened to interviews with people talking about their lives. I didn't understand everything, but I could pick up the main ideas. And the more I listened, the easier it became. Listening to real conversations really helped me understand how English is used in everyday situations. Use subtitles and transcripts. One tool that really helped me was using subtitles and transcripts. I would watch shows and movies with English subtitles, so I could see the words and understand the meaning at the same time. After a while, I tried watching without subtitles. At first it was hard, but then I realized that I could understand most of the words. I also use transcripts for podcasts. A transcript is a written version of the podcast or video. I would listen to the podcast first, then read the transcript. This helped me see what I missed, and also helped me learn new words and phrases. Sometimes I would listen to the podcast again while reading the transcript, and this really helped me improve my listening skills. Get used to different accents. English is spoken in many countries, and each country has its own accent. If you only listen to one accent, you will miss out on learning how to understand different kinds of English. So, I made an effort to listen to English from different countries. I listened to British English, American English, Australian English, and even English from South Africa and India. At first, it was hard. The accents were different, and I didn't understand everything. But after listening to many different accents, I became better at understanding them all. So, if you want to improve your listening skills, I highly recommend listening to different accents. It will make you more flexible and able to understand English in any situation. Watching movies is one of the best ways to improve your listening. Not only do you get to hear English spoken in real situations, but you also get to see the emotions, actions, and body language that go along with the words. At first, I would watch movies with subtitles, but eventually, I tried watching without them. This was challenging at first, but I realized that watching movies helps you understand how English is used in everyday life. It teaches you how native speakers connect ideas, use slang, and shorten words. Movies also give you a sense of the natural rhythm and flow of conversation, making it a great way to improve your listening skills in a relaxed, enjoyable way. Also, music is another powerful tool that helped me improve my listening skills. I started listening to songs in English and paying close attention to the lyrics. At first, I couldn't understand all the words, but I kept trying. Music is a fun way to improve because it helps with understanding pronunciation and rhythm. I would look up the lyrics, sing along, and try to follow the song. Slowly, I started to understand more. Songs also help you learn common expressions and slang that native speakers use. So, try listening to your favorite English songs and use them as a fun way to practice your listening skills. Keep challenging yourself. As my listening skills improved, I started to challenge myself with more difficult content. I began listening to fast podcasts and watching movies without subtitles. It was hard at first, but the more I challenged myself, the better I got. If you want to reach C2 level, you have to push yourself and go beyond your comfort zone. If you find something too difficult, don't stop. Try again later and keep practicing. Every time you challenge yourself, you will improve. It might be difficult in the beginning, but that's how you grow. Final tips for improving your listening skills. Here are a few final tips that helped me reach C2 level listening. Listen every day. Even if it's just for 10 minutes, make listening a part of your daily routine. Mix it up. Listen to different types of content to expose yourself to different accents and vocabulary. Don't be afraid to listen again. Repetition is key to improving your listening. Challenge yourself. Try listening to fast podcasts and movies without subtitles. Be patient. It takes time to improve, but consistency is the key. Conclusion. So, that's how I reached C2 level listening in English. It wasn't easy, and it didn't happen overnight. But with patience, consistency, and the right tools, you can get there too. Keep practicing, keep listening, and you will improve. Thanks for listening today, and I hope these tips help you on your journey to better English listening.